All right, everyone. I don't get to introduce people from the JC very often, and I definitely don't get to introduce people that I like as much as today's guest speaker. So I'm really delighted to do this. Matt Markovich, who I'm understanding is the second oldest of 7 children, and I think everybody in this room has either gone to school or knows some member of the Markovich family. I want to meet your mom. He begins his 3rd year as Dean of Kinesiology, Athletics and Dance, and is the athletic director for the Bear Cubs. He was formerly the director of Kinesiology and Athletics at the College of Marin. We stole him, and we are delighted by that. And I'm going to let you talk about what he did there. He's started the Hall of Fame. He started an athletic service because we think about athletes at community colleges as student athletes, and so that's a really important aspect of the work he does. Markovich began his college education at Santa Rosa Junior College as a baseball student athlete playing for Coach Ron Myers. And from there transferred to Sonoma State University, where he played baseball and earned his bachelor's degree in kinesiology. From SSU, he went on to St. Mary's College of California, earning his MA in Health, Physical Education, and Recreation in 1999. Before turning to administration, some faculty describe that as the dark side, Markovich has been a successful baseball coach, first as an assistant at the College of Marin, then as the head assistant at his alma mater, Sonoma State. He then served as the head baseball coach at San Francisco State University for 5 years before moving on to Division I, San Jose State University as an assistant coach in charge of hitting and catching. Markovich is married to his wife, Kara. They have 3 children, Mia, Rudy, and I love this name, McCovey. Willie McCovey was one of my favorites. And he spends much of his free time with his family, working on his doctoral degree and coaching his daughter's athletic teams. I'm just delighted to have him as our guest speaker today.
Thanks, Jade. How you guys doing? You bored yet? Okay, I'm gonna try and keep it quick and light. And I brought a big PowerPoint, and so if you have questions that take me off the PowerPoint, please ask. No bad questions in the room. I'm here for you and see what I can offer. I brought some things about the JC. I also brought some gifts for the kids in the room. We got some basketballs and t-shirts and stuff like that. You might have to answer a trivia question in order to get one of those things, but please make sure that you pick up a t-shirt or something to promote the athletic department around Petaluma. Thank you to Ms. Ferris for inviting me today. Really appreciate it. Thank you to the club for all that you do for Petaluma. I grew up in Petaluma. I was born in San Francisco, grew up in Petaluma, went to St. Vincent's Elementary School, St. Vincent's High School, and obviously stayed around Santa Rosa and played baseball at Sonoma State. I have 4 little brothers, so if they did anything to your family or anything while they were growing up, it was not my fault. I was busy in school. But really family's a big thing for me, and Petaluma's a big thing for me. My wife is a Piro, so I don't know if anybody knows the Piros. Kara Piro, she went to CASA. We were the same age in high school. So she's got a big family in town. Scotty Nelson, who is part owner of Lombardi's, is her cousin. So we're really based in Petaluma and really love it here. So thank you from our families for all that you guys do for the town. So, did you guys something quickly? So I'm just going to jump in and see where this leads us. Okay, so I've been, first passion of mine was coaching college baseball. My wife and I started having kids, and she told me I needed to stop being on the road, and she also told me that I needed to move back to Petaluma. So I quit coaching, moved back to Petaluma to raise our family and to basically be around home more. So I got a job at College of Marin, but also got a job in athletics, and it is a passion of mine. The biggest passion of mine, though, is the student athlete. Student athletes go through so much, and they put so much effort in, and the student athletes at the community college are a unique bunch. So San Jose Junior College Athletics provides student athletes with the opportunity to compete in an intercollegiate athletic program. Intercollegiate athletics is designed to provide an environment that encourages personal growth, discipline, assertiveness, persistence, honesty, sensitivity to others, and emotional control. Our athletic program allows every student athlete to physically and mentally challenge himself, herself, to excel in a competitive atmosphere through participation in a varsity sport. So that's kind of what our mission is. We really have a unique bunch. We also all started young. And some of the things that I was asked to speak about today is, what makes a well-rounded athlete? Well, I have 3 kids. All of them play sports. Hopefully they'll play sports for a long time. And kind of these are my opinions and what I try to instill in my kids and hopefully instill in my nieces and nephews and stuff like that. We have a big family. But as parents, we want our kids to be empowered and feel like champs through sports. We want our kids to have fun. We want our kids to keep coming back to sports and create a lifelong enjoyment for sports. We want our kids to use sports as a vehicle to a healthy body and mind. We want our kids to have a healthy balance in their lives. We don't want focus on sports. We don't want our kids in sports every single night and every single day and losing sight of family time and dinner and their homework and things like that and rest. We want to teach our kids about teamwork, and we want our kids to feel supported and not pressured. So those are the kind of the guidelines that my wife and I have with our kids, and my kids are competitive. They're in gymnastics and ballet and softball and soccer and all those things. And sometimes it is tough to find that balance. So who are we as an athletic department? So next trivia question. Can somebody guess how many student athletes are involved in our program every year? So we have 550 student athletes in our program. Here's kind of where we are competing-wise, and I promise I have a few PowerPoint slides in here, but we'll go through them quick. So right now we have 550. We compete about 350 every year, so we have roughly about 200 or so red shirts in our program every year. So we are the home of the scholars and champions. We have 20 CCCA sanctioned sports, so we have 20 different teams. We have 550 student athletes each year. Our recent state champions: women's basketball, men's baseball, soccer, women's soccer, men's swimming, and women's swimming. So, since 2000, could anybody in the room name their community college in Northern California that's won the most state championships? Santa Rosa Junior College. Come on, you won a prize. Come on up. You did. Come on up. So since 2000, we have won more state championships than any school in Northern California. So we're really ecstatic about our program. It's really going in the right direction, and it's really a staple. Here's some of our ethnicity, thank you, in our program. So we're a real diverse program. The interesting thing about our student athletes, 60% of our student athletes come into the community college underprepared. So when they test into our college, they are under college ready for English and math. So that's 60%. The unique thing about our program is when you see some of the numbers is our student athletes want to transfer in 2 years. So imagine having a program where you have 60% of your kids, of 550 kids, come in the program and say, I want to transfer in 2 years, but less than 40% of them are ready to do that in less than 2 years. So we have a huge academic gap to bridge. That's one of the things that we really focus on, is bridging that gap. And it's also why we feel athletics is the perfect vehicle towards success, and that's something that we really push. So what do? We provide an opportunity to develop athletically, academically, and socially. We put students first. We really push our kids to get involved in the community. We teach them about time management. And the best thing that we do is we prepare them for success. And the most success they're going to have is when they walk off that 4-year stage with a BA. So we really prepare them for how to be successful at the 4-year institution. So tips for parenting your young athlete, all right? So some of the things that we talk about in our home too is don't limit your kids' participation at too young of an age. My little 6-year-old loves gymnastics, and she would do gymnastics every day of her life, and they want her to do gymnastics 4 nights a week at the club and all that stuff, and I'm just not ready to let her do that, to be honest. We make her do ballet, and we make her do soccer and softball and basketball. I even put her in the all-boys basketball league just to get her to do other things. So I'm a real firm believer in playing a lot of sports and playing many different sports and trying not to get specialized at too young of an age. there's going to be a time for that, to pick your sport and what you're good at and all those things. So we really try to talk to parents and kids about, hey, play a lot of different things. Early specialization can lead to burnout. I have a niece who played soccer growing up the whole year, and now she's getting to high school, and she's going to Petaluma, and she's not going to play soccer. And she just played 5 years playing year-round soccer, so she got burned out on soccer. And she's going to go to high school and try volleyball and basketball and things like that. Kids must own their sport. What's your kid's passion? What do they like to do? Feed that. Let them choose. Find out when they get older, when they start having a passion for a sport and wanting to do that all the time, it's something that they could choose to do. And I feel real fortunate growing up. I was really good at football and had a few scholarship offers in football, but I didn't like football. I loved baseball, and I was just okay in baseball. But, you know, my parents and my dad, who was a football coach and all that stuff, let me choose baseball in college, and it's worked out pretty good for me. So it's something about passion to have there. Praise your kids for participation and effort, and then make sure that athletics is a small piece and keep a balance for your kids. So our whole thing is academic success. We talked about bridging the academic gap for our kids and taking those kids that are underprepared academically and getting them ready to transfer in 2 years and hopefully building that foundation to where they can go on and get their BA degree and change their lives. Our student athletes this past year, average GPA was a 2.89. We had 12 student athletes at a 4.0 during the academic year. 56 of our student athletes had a 3.5 GPA or higher. 11 earned a Commitment to Excellence Awards, which means they had a 3.75 their whole time at the JC. And then our student athletes take on an average of 15.9 units this last year. So we really push our kids to do that. This is our new academic study hall donated by the Benedetti family. It's named the Gene M. Benedetti Student Athlete Success Center. We have tutors in there every day of the week, and it's a quiet place for the kids to study and watch some film and things like that. So this is what we do. Throughout the year, our student athletes average between 31.9 and 32.8 units a academic year. The general student population at the JC averages 10.8 units a year. So we're really pushing our kids to do more. And when you think about underprepared academic kids taking that many units, and many of them have to work to help support their family or pay for school themselves. Many of them put in 20 or 30 hours a week in the weight room, the film room, and on the practice field, and many of them travel with the team and all that stuff. So our kids are asked to do a lot, and one of them is the academic side. SRJC Athletics average GPA, we have a 2.89 this past 15-16. The rest of the campus has a 2.69, 2.82 last year, 2.83, 2.96, and 12 and 13. So we really feel like our cohort, which is 550 to 600 kids, it's the biggest cohort on campus in the district, and we are doing things the right way. And we are getting the results that we want from our kids. And it's important to understand that that's kind of what teamwork does, and that's what support does, and that's what having a goal does, and that's what having outside motivation does. And that's why athletics is so important to our district and so important to my life and my family's lives and things like that. Is we feel like athletics could be the vehicle of supported the right way and nurtured the right way to academic success. Some of our success rates are course, so this is a course success rate throughout the campus. Ours is 84% this last year. And the rest of the campus is a 69%, so our kids are succeeding at the course level, greater than the district. So in summary, these are kind of the summaries. On average, a student take more units, earn a higher GPA, maintain higher retention and success rates, matriculate to four-year institutions, higher and faster rate, earn the district valuable resource due to the number of units completed. Some of the other things we do is we try to give back, and part of our program is community outreach. Every one of our student athletes is required to do community outreach. Our teams are required to do community outreach. These are some of a few of the things that we did last year and the last couple of years. When the fire happened up in the Valley Fire happened, our soccer team went up there and volunteered for a few days and stayed up there and helped out up there. Our football team every year gives back to local kindergartens, teaching them kids how to read and certain things like that, and playing with them. Our Our whole athletic department raised a bunch of food. Our JC team, our softball team goes to Fort Bragg Food Bank for 2 days as a team building thing. So we really try and push those team building things, but our community service giving back. One of the other things we talked about, something that I started there 2 years ago, was we do a good job training our kids athletically on the field, in the court and stuff like that. And the district does a great job getting them prepared academically, but socially, what are we doing? What are we imposing on our kids socially? What are we teaching them socially? So we really took the lead and we started a new training program here. This last year, we had our first annual walk a mile in our shoes. So we partnered with Sonoma State Athletics. We had 350 student athletes walk a mile in high heels to bring awareness to relationship violence and teach our kids about relationship violence and how to avoid it and things like that. So we trained all 500 kids on how to be an active bystander and really get involved. There's some staggering data out there about what happens on four-year college campuses within athletic departments that I won't go into here with the kids, but we really feel like this is the next step to make our kids succeed. We expect them and have a high standard for when they transfer on. So it's something that we've grown. We've done the One Love Foundation trainings with our kids, so we're on the right step here. But this was our walk a mile in their shoes event. We had, like I said, over about 350 student athletes involved. So you might ask why they do what they do, because they put a lot of time in. Social support, which provides easier transition from high school, vehicle for academic success, outlet for stress relief, foundation for lifelong fitness, increased self-esteem, development of leadership skills and teamwork, networking opportunities sought out by employers and hiring, and then transferring to a four-year university. So it's kind of a lot of things that why they do what they do. So the benefits of a well-rounded student athlete. And I put this in there because, again, stuff that we talk about with our kids at home and I feel is important for kids growing up is if you have a well-rounded student athlete, you're going to improve fitness, motivation, confidence, and the most important thing, creativity. When you play just one sport, you kind of get stuck into overanalyzing that sport and you kind of become kind of robotic in that sport. So as a young age, playing many sports, it kind of gives the kids that ability to be creative about that. Playing for the sake of the game and having some plain old-fashioned fun. I think I see some of that get out of it when I go to, I coached my 9-year-old girls softball team last year, and believe it or not, on 3 occasions I had to walk over to the opposing coach and go, it's 9-year-old softball. It's supposed to be fun, you know. So I think sometimes we lose that. We avoid injury from overuse. Sports skills and athletic movements transfer. So if you have power in jumping, you can play football, basketball, baseball, all that does. Sprinting skills, they transfer. So doing all those things. Multi-sport athletes are overall more creative and less mechanical in their approach. That we create better teammates. Having different coaches, different sports, different ideas of how teams work from football to baseball and all that stuff. Teach your kids how to get along with different groups and different styles and stuff like that. So we think it's good. And then grit, tenacity, and the will to compete are traits that transfer across all sports. So these are some of our highlights from last year, and I'm wrapping up. So this is Henry Seltzer. He was California Defensive Player of the Year. Big 8 Conference Defensive MVP, was voted first team All-American. Chris Ochoa, Petaluma High School kid. Big 8 Conference Player of the Year, California All-State, Far West second team. Drew Stimple won the state champion in the 500 free, the 16 free All-American, the 200 free, 500 free, 16 free, 200 fly and relays, academic All-American, first team All-Conference, Big 8 Conference champion, Big 8 Conference 16 free, went undefeated in both the 500 and 1650 this last year. Roderick Coons, our first baseman, All-American team, All-State team, All-Northern California team, All-Big 8 team. Transfer rates. Since 2013, we've had over 600 of our student athletes transfer. Last year, we had 171, 2014, 2013. And the interesting thing here I'll point out here is they get bigger as the years get passed. If you can see that, it's because our kids are underprepared. So we track them beyond the 2 years. But we want our kids to stay in school and retain them. So as they get done with competing, they stay in school, we still track them and the transfer rates grow. This past year, we had 50 plus transfers earning scholarships. They earned over $750,000 in scholarships. Some of the places that they went to. And so, do you guys have any questions? Can I stay on time? Okay. And I know that was rather fast, and I kind of ran through it, so sorry for talking fast. But if you have questions, it'd be great.
Yeah, would it be easier for your kids to have fewer units? They're taking a lot of units, and that's
correct. Great question. So it would be easier for our kids to have fewer units. So here's the issue. If I walk into your home as a coach and say, we want your kid to come to our school, and I want your kid to be there for 3 years and redshirt the first year, the coach down at the next community college is going to walk in and say, I want your kid to play here right now. Well, if I was in a room, so we have an orientation next week, and I have 500 kids show up to the orientation, and I say, how many of you here want to transfer in 2 years and go on to a 4-year? 490 out of the 500 are going to say, I want to do it. Well, we know that 40% of them are capable to do that, 60% of them are not. So we have to do summer school, tutoring, all those things to get them up. So yes, in an ideal world, we would say all you are here for 3 years, where we're going to probably lose the majority of our recruits if we go out and recruit that way. So it's on us. We take ownership to say, all right, how do we bridge that gap? Let's be creative. So does that make sense? Yes, sir.
Yeah, I know it's hard to track, but matriculation into four-year colleges is one thing, graduation rates are another. Do you have a feel for the percentage of your athletes that do go on to the four-year institutions that get the BS or BA degree?
You know what, I really don't have any solid numbers for that. I mean, anecdotally, a lot of them do. I believe a lot of them do, but I don't really have any firm numbers for that. But we feel like, and I think Jane would attest to this, academics at Santa Rosa are difficult. A lot of the kids come back and say, man, my class at Sonoma State was easier than my classes here, or my classes at San Francisco State were easier than my classes here. So we'd like to believe we've given them a foundation to do that, but to be honest with you, we don't track them that far. Yes, sir.
And in terms of the future of football, now it's under more criticism than ever. Your players are getting bigger and stronger, and when Clayton was here earlier, I have to question parents whether they want their kids to play that sport safety-wise. Do you have an opinion on that?
You know, like I said, my dad is an old football coach, and he really loves football, but there are concerns. You know, we do everything that we can do. We have a state-of-the-art concussion protocol system in place at the JC. We're the first ones in the state to monitor all that. We have doctors on the sidelines every day. We have trainers at practice every day. I do believe kids are getting bigger and stronger. At the state level, we're really cracking back on the amount of practices they could have, full gear and stuff like that, when they could start like that. Do I think football is going anywhere? I don't think so. I think this country loves football more than any other sport. I don't think it's going anywhere. I think the kids love it. I do have my beliefs that maybe they should start football in high school or a little bit into high school so they could develop more and things like that. But our trainers and our doctors are telling us that our kids' brains are still developing 18, 19, 20, 21. So we really got to be careful with that. But we have a brain specialist, Dr. Nancy Chin, on our sidelines every day. And Monica is our trainer, and she's leading the state in concussion protocol. So we're doing everything we can, but just like at the NFL level, what happened yesterday, one of the kids got a concussion for the Niners, and the reporter said, hey, Coach Shanahan, did this change practice at all? And he said, absolutely not. So they just kind of moved on and things like that. But it is definitely a serious concern. We're doing everything at our level to protect our kids. I mean, our kids are very upset when they come to my office and I say, you're out for 2 weeks. But it's serious. We had a Petaluma kid from Casa hit his head on the turf in baseball. Didn't come back to play all year from a concussion. So it's very serious, but we're doing right by our kids.
Matt, thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you guys very much.
It's wonderful, seriously, that you're such a great leader in the community for Santa Rosa JC, and you live it. You live it. You're a great role model. So thank you very much. We got a gift for you here as well. So thank you, and say hi to your folks. Yeah. Okay. Take care. Okay. So, thanks again, Matt, for being our speaker today. Rick Mossy, thank you very much for the foundation meeting. John and Lee, congratulations on your tribute, and Orly and Sharon, thanks for coming. Thanks to all the presenters who presented about the youth programs. And thanks to all the kids who came to the meeting today. Thank you. How about a round of applause for them? And to the parents who brought them, thank you very much. And these meetings don't happen by themselves. Joanne, I want to thank you very much for putting this all together. Big round of applause for Joanne. And just want to remind everybody that next week we'll be at Van Bebbers on the Boulevard. We will not be here, so please make sure you come to Van Bebbers. Onita Pellegrini is going to be, Onita is going to be the presenter, and I'm going to be on my bike ride, so I'll see you on the 24th. Michael, did you have a...
I just want to say everybody here's our athlete for next week, so wish him best.
Okay, thank you, thank you. And Matt, all these kids are looking at this bag. There's other stuff here to give away, right? Okay, so with that said, by the way, all those kids who are here, who wants to become a Rotarian when they grow up? All right, we succeeded. Thank you very much. So with that, meeting is adjourned, and we'll see you in a couple weeks.